What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to add users to our friends list app with Ruby on Rails. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to look at adding users to our friends list app. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, we are moving right along with our friends list app. In this video, I want to show you how to add users. So you've got this website and we can add friends ourselves, but anybody could come along and add a friend to our list, and that's no good. We want to be able to log into this website ourselves, have our own list in our own account that we only control. And maybe you want other people to be able to sign up for an account, log in, add their own list, and you want, as a user, you want them to be able to update their profile, sign in, sign out, generate a password. Oh, you forgot your password, sign up, all the things. So if you look at this, we can log in real quick here. And, we get a little message. We can edit our profile. And now we're going to bootstrapify these things and make them look nicer. This is just the default stuff that comes out of the box, and we'll get into all that later. In this video, we're just going to set all this up. So you see up here, sign out, edit profile. If we sign out, you signed out successfully, and all that good stuff. So we can sign up if we, so all kinds of cool stuff. Forget your password. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. And with Ruby on Rails, this is insanely easy. We're going to use a gem for this. We haven't really talked about gems yet, but gems are little third-party things that you can add to your app that just work, right? So they're super easy to use, sort of like with Django and Python, where you pip install something and then you can use it. It's sort of like that, but a little bit different. So we're going to get into all of that in this video. So the thing we're going to use is something called Devise, and Devise is a gem that handles all of this user management stuff. So let's head over to rubygems.org. And this is the website that has all the gems that you could ever want. It's sort of like the central repository website for gems. And you can see there are, 59 billion downloads of different gems to date. So this is crazy. So let's come up here and let's just type in Devise, D-E-V-I-S-E. And you can see there's a bunch of things. We want the one that's been downloaded 82 million times. So you can see this is a very popular gem. A lot of times when you're using gems, this is a good indicator of if it's going to be a good gem or not, because you never really know, right? So if you find something that you're looking for and it has like 6 downloads, you're going to want to be a little wary of it. If it has 82 million downloads, it's probably good. So we can click on this Devise, and here is the page where we can find the actual gem. So here's to install it. Here's to add it to our gem file. We want to add it to our gem file. You're almost always going to want to add these to your gem files. So I can click on this little thing to copy it to our clipboard. So we can head back over to our code and just come down here to our gem file. And this is where all of our gems are located. And we could just paste this in, right click paste or Control V to paste. And now this is added. So let's let's save this file, Control S to save it, or come up here and file save. Now, usually to add a gem to your app, it's usually a couple step process. You put it in your gem file and then you go back to your terminal and you type in bundle install. And usually that does it. It installs all the gems that are currently in your gem file. But with Devise is a little bit more complicated. This is lots of moving parts in this gem, and it does a lot of stuff. So there's several more steps. So we're going to have to go through those steps. But to start off, we can just head over to the terminal and Control C to break out of your terminal if your server's running. And the first step is always just bundle install. So that's B-U-N-D-L-E install. So this will go to rubygems.org, grab all the gems that it sees in your gem file and install them. And if we come through here, we could probably find, there it is, Devise has now been added, right? So, all right, that's good. Now, what do we have to do after that? Well, we can head over to the Devise website here, or to the Ruby Gems website. And down here, usually you can either go to the home page or the documentation link. And sometimes these go to the same place. I'm going to click on documentation, or we can go back and click on home page. It goes back to the same thing, this GitHub page. And this is the Devise GitHub page, and it has instructions on how to install it and how to use it. So we could just keep scrolling down here to the getting started section. First, add your gem file. We did that. Bundle install. We did that. Now we need to run this command, Rails generate devise install. So I'm going to copy this, head back over to my terminal here, and right click, and let's paste this in. And this will give us a bunch of instructions after this that we then have to follow. And they're not really that bad. We've already done most of them, but we're going to want to read through here. So here's a list of things now we have to do. The first one is the most important thing. Ensure you have defined default URL options in your environments file for mailers. So if somebody forgot their password and you want to automatically send them a password link or whatever, we need to be able to do that. So we need to configure this file. It's in config environments development.rb. And what we need to do is add this line to it. So I'm going to right click and copy this. And let's go to our config environments development.rb file. So let's head over to our code. And that was config right there, environments development RB. So here's that file. Now we just come down here to the bottom where it says the very last end. And let's push this down a little bit, tab over, and then paste in this line. So what we're doing here is setting up an action mailer thing. And our default is localhost. So we need to set our host for that on our development environment. So development RB is the file that works with development stuff. We're developing right now. We have not pushed this to production. This is a development environment. So we also need to do the same thing in our production.rb for when we push this live on the internet. We haven't done that yet, but we will eventually. So I'm going to come down here and do the same thing again. Some space, tab this over. But instead of localhost and port 3000, we're going to want to put our actual host. So if we push this, for instance, up to Heroku for web hosting, we'll put our Heroku URL there. We don't have that yet, though. So instead, I'm just going to comment this out, and we'll leave this for later. But I'm going to save this anyway and make sure we save this file as well. So we can close these two files and head back over to our terminal and see what else is next. You'll notice it also says do the same thing for production. I just kind of skipped over that and just did it without reading it. Let's see, number 2, we have to define a root URL in our routes file. So we've already done that, so we don't have to do that. Number 3 is ensure we have flash messages on our application.html page. Notice this, we did that in the last video, so we're good to go there too. And then finally, we need to set up views. So when Devise starts working, it's going to need a bunch of different web pages. It's going to need a page to allow somebody to sign up. It's going to need a page to allow somebody to sign in, to sign out, to edit their profile, to send a password reminder. All these different pages, we need to create those pages, and it will do it for us with this command. So Rails G, short for generate, right? We can copy this. Devise views. So we can come down here and let's paste this in. Rails G, Devise views, and boom, 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 it does its thing. And you can see it's created all of this stuff. And we're going to get into all of this stuff later. If you want to kind of look through here and just sort of familiarize yourself with these for now, like I said, we're going to get into this later. Just know that all of these views have now been created in our app views Devise folder. Remember in the last video, we created our friends model stuff. Well, 2 videos ago, it generated all that stuff in app views friends. Now we're in app views Devise, right? So all of our views are usually like that. So you can see through here, there's a thing for passwords, registrations, sessions, mailer stuff, all kinds of cool stuff. And like I said, we'll get into all that later. So, okay, we're almost done. Let's head back over to the Devise website. And we've done this and we did this. Now we need to create a model. And the model is the database stuff, right? So Devise needs to keep track of all the users that sign up and sign in and sign out and edit their profile. And it does that with a database. So we need to set up that database by creating another table, sort of like we did earlier when we generated our friends table. We're going to create a user table that will handle all the user stuff. So we can copy this line here and let's paste this in. But instead of model, we want to name this user because these are users. We're going to name it user. So, all right, notice singular. And it usually takes a second. Okay, so notice it's created a migration just like earlier with our friends migration. There's some stuff here you can look at if you want. And remember, using databases is always a 2-step process. You create a migration, then you push the migration. We did that with our friends model. So we've created a migration, now we need to push that migration. So let's go Rails DB : migrate. And it will go through here and push that migration. And done. And if we go back over to the website here, you can see the next step, of course, is Rails DB migrate. So it's telling us to do that. So you can look through here and read this. This is useful to read, and we'll refer back to this later on when we actually start using stuff. But like right here, this little helper, we can run an if statement to say if a user is signed in, then do certain things. And we're going to do that in just a minute when we fiddle with our nav bar. So think of our nav bar. If a user signed in, we want to show them a link to sign out. If they're not signed in yet, we don't need to show them a link to sign out because they can't sign out, right? So we're going to use this little helper for that. You can see who the current user is with this one, do some user session stuff and all kinds of stuff. And you can read through all of this stuff. But for now, we are good to go. So we can head back over to our terminal. And before we do that, let me run the command Rails routes. So we created all these views. Now we need routes to those views. And while this is doing its thing, if we head back over to our code, oh, there it's done. If we head back over to our code real quick and look in config routes, you see we've created new routes for Devise users, right? Just like the resources for our friends. It's all packed into this one line of code. So that's cool, but we need to know what those routes are. So that's why I did this. Scroll up here, Rails routes command. You can see here are all the new routes that it's just created for us. So we have this new user session, that's to sign in. Let's see, destroy user session, that's to sign out. New user password, that's to get a password. Edit user password, that's to edit your password. What else do we have? Cancel if you want to close your registration, there's the route for that. New user registration, you want to sign up right there. Edit your profile, that's that one right there. And some other things. So let's start off right away by sort of tinkering with our nav bar. So let's close this. Let's head over to app views. You can see here's our Devise folder. Let's go to home and our header. This is where our nav bar is. And let's come up here and let's create some more links. So we're going to need, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. So I'm just going to paste 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one, I lost track. Where are we at? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one will be sign up, right? This one will be sign in. This one will be sign out. And this one will be, what do we think? Edit profile. And that's good enough for now, just to get us started here. There's other things we can add, but for now, that looks good. So sign up, what's the route for that? Well, let's head back over to our terminal and look. So sign in, sign out, sign up. So we want new user registration. So I can copy this. And remember, it's going to be -path. So I can paste this in, new user registration _path. Right, so that's the sign up. To sign in, that's going to be, let's see, sign in right here. So that's going to be new user session. So I can copy that. Head back over here and new user session path. Remember, they're all _path at the end. So that's cool. Sign out, we'll do that one in a second. Edit profile, let's grab that one. So I think that's down here. Edit user registration. Yeah, so let's copy this, head back over here, and this is going to be edit user registration path. Now, finally, this one's sign out. This one's a little bit different, and I'll show you here. If we head back over here, let's see, sign in, sign out. You notice the verb for all of these are get or post, right? This one is delete. Because what we're doing is when we sign in to Devise, we're creating a user session, right? So here, when we sign in, we're creating a new user session. To sign out, we destroy that session, right? So we delete that session. So here is going to be destroy user session, but then we need to modify it just a little bit, and I'll show you how. So let's head over here. So sign out, it's still going to be _path. So destroy user session path. But then here, we need to put a comma and then type method delete and then a comma. So that's how we do that for sign out. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and let's head back over to our terminal and come down to the bottom again and let's run our server, Rails S. Okay, so it's up and running. We can head back over to our website and now we've got these things, sign up, sign in, sign out, edit profile. So let's sign up. Okay, that works. So let's go johne4196@gmail.com. My password is whatever. Now I can sign up. My passwords didn't match. And so you notice this is very cool. It handles things like if you didn't type in the right password correctly, right? Which I didn't just then. So let me try again. And like I said, we're going to make this all look nicer. We'll bootstrapify it later on. For now, we just want the functionality to make sure it all works. So let's click sign up. It says, welcome, you have signed up successfully. Now up here, this doesn't change yet, but let's click edit profile and we can see email, password. We can cancel my account, right? All kinds of cool stuff. If we want to sign out, signed out successfully. If we click edit profile now, it's saying, hey, log in, right? So now if we click sign out, well, it says sign out again. So, okay, now we want to change this up here to only show certain links if we're signed in or signed out. How do we do that? Well, the Devise documentation tells us we can use this helper. User signed in, question mark. So let's copy this, head back over to our code, and let's find right here. So sign up. Right off the bat, let's create a embedded Ruby tag. And notice we're not going to put an equal to sign like we usually do because this is just an if statement. So if user signed in, if they're signed in, we want to show them what? Well, we want to show them the link to sign out and edit their profile. We don't need to show them the link to, to sign up or to sign in, right? So if the user signed in, let's only show them these two links. So I'm just going to copy these and delete them and come up here and let me tab over. We don't have to tab over, but it's easier to read if we do. So if the user signed in, we want to show this one and this one. Now we can come down here and go another tag, else do this and this. And let me tab this over. So, okay, and then down here at the end of this, we need a final tag to end. So this is our if statement end. So we're saying if the user signed in, show them this, else show them this, oops, and then end. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and reload and see if that worked. Okay, so we haven't signed in here, so we have a link to sign up and sign in. We could sign up here or we could sign in here. Let's sign in. And forgot password. Let me open this in a new page. Hey, that works. That's cool. So let's log in. We signed in successfully. It puts us straight to the edit profile page. That's weird. We can change that if we want. And you'll notice up here, let me get rid of this, we have options to sign out or edit profile or add friends. So right now this works. So let's move these around too. So let's say add friend. We only want to add a friend if we're signed in. Otherwise, we don't want people to be able to add friends. So let's change that real quick. So let's find our friends link. Let's see, add friends right here. So we can copy this and put that in if user signed in. Let's just paste this in. And let me tab this over just to make it look nice. Save this, head back over here. Let's reload. Nothing seems to change, but if we sign out, boom, that add friends disappears. So that's very cool. We can do the same thing with the friends too, and we will eventually. But very cool. And we've been working on this like 20 minutes, maybe less. And we have a fully functioning website user administration system. Like that just boggles the mind, like how fast it is to create a professional user management system with Rails. It's just this easy, 20 minutes, boom, we're done. Like, I'm not kidding, back in the day, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, this would have taken me a month to code all this stuff up, at least. You know, if I even could have it, it's, you know, so complicated. One person doing it alone, oh, it's horrible. But this, we slapped in a gem, we installed it, we followed the directions, we added a couple of things to our website, and boom, this works just like that. How cool is that? So our app is really coming along. It's really becoming more sophisticated. And man, this whole project we spent less than an hour on, right? It's pretty amazing. And that's why we like Rails. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off memberships. They pay just $49 to access all my courses, over 45 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.